Hello and welcome to my video about Article 50 and the UK. One of the biggest headlines in 2016 was that the UK voted to leave the EU. Shock and horror were felt by some, elation by others, and confusion and uncertainty for us all. The big question after the referendum was, what happens now? Much was reported about Article 50, the formal withdrawal process for any member state that wishes to leave the European Union. The process is untested, complex, and most worryingly, vague. It's created a fair degree of uncertainty as to how it will be interpreted and how it should be applied. In the UK, it has already created controversy, fierce debate, and legal action. In this video, I'll explain what the High Court and Supreme Court rulings are all about. What is at the crux of the legal proceedings? So Article 50 says that a member state may leave the European Union in accordance with its own constitutional requirements and notify the European Council of their intention to leave. This already presents the first hurdle for the UK. In light of our unwritten constitution, what exactly are our constitutional requirements? Can the Prime Minister use Crown prerogative powers to give notice? Do we need an Act of Parliament? Or do we need at least elected MPs to debate the issue? This uncertainty is what has spurred the cases brought before the High Court and the Supreme Court. What did the Prime Minister say? Theresa May has announced that she would give notice under Article 50 by March 2017. She maintains that she could use Crown prerogative powers to do this. She relies on the fact that entering into and leaving treaties is normally something within the realms of the government's prerogative powers. So why did people challenge this? A group of campaigners spearheaded by investment banker Gina Miller and hairdresser Deirdre Santos questioned whether the Prime Minister had the power to sidestep Parliament. They contended that the most important constitutional value is that Parliament is sovereign. It is only Parliament that can make and unmake laws, and that it is a well-established principle in law that prerogative powers cannot cover acts that would change UK domestic law. Undoubtedly, the withdrawal from the EU would change the law and the rights enjoyed by the people. So what did the High Court decide? The High Court decided that the government does not have the power to trigger Article 50 without the approval of Parliament. They disagreed with the government's argument that the European Communities Act allows the government to make changes to domestic legal rights through prerogative powers. The government were obviously not happy with the result. They appealed, and the case was brought directly in front of the Supreme Court, skipping over the Court of Appeal. What was the Supreme Court's view? The Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, agreed with the High Court. They ruled that the government cannot trigger Article 50 without an Act of Parliament which authorises it. This means that both the House of Commons and Lords need to vote on it, and the Queen needs to give its royal assent. But does this decision stop Brexit? What I really want to stress is that the matter that was brought before the courts was not about politics. It's a question about law. So it does not question the referendum's result. It does not stop Brexit. It does not dictate what we should negotiate as part of our exit package or how our relationship with the EU should develop once we are out. It is all a matter of UK constitutional law. How should we provide notice to the European Council to kickstart the Article 50 process? So what's next? The government has said that we have voted to leave and that this ruling does not change anything. As they had originally planned, Article 50 will be triggered by the end of March. In compliance with the judgment, the government rushed through a very short bill which will simply state that the power to be conferred upon the Prime Minister to notify the UK's intention of leaving the EU under Article 50. It will now be put forward to both Houses of Parliament. Brexit is a roller coaster with more twists and turns than you will find in many theme parks. Unfortunately, we seem to all be bracing for a bumpy legal and political ride as we negotiate our way through it. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you soon.